सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 16, section 16, subsection 7, I think, verse 13. Continuing with the expressing the oneness in puja and changing the whole puja vidhi to reflect, changing the entire puja vidhi to reflect the truth of Vedanta Shastra. And so the concluding verses from this section, and each one has been very, very full as we have looked at them. We can see that. Okay. Yeah. So verse 13. Samprapyamapi padaravinda padavim Advaita Vidyavatam Etavantamanehasam Natu Vayam Lina Sada Brahmani Muktanamapi Mohatas Samarasa Tvadbhava Asmakam Hyaparadha Eva Paramaha Kshantavya Evam Prabho. Very nice. So, Samprapyam, this is the one of the last steps. What is the one of the last steps? Asking for forgiveness for any of the missteps that has happened in the puja vidhi, in the puja krama. This is a very important step because so many times the mind is elsewhere, or you're doing puja and you forget a step, or a phone call comes and you know you shouldn't answer it but you do anyway. So all these all these omissions and commissions require um, atonement. So the second last step here is the atonement, the step of atonement. And what is the atonement here? The pleading for mercy and forgiveness for all the things that have gone on which shouldn't have gone on. Like this, in the regular puja, there are so many obstacles which haven't been overcome. There are so many missteps. All these things are there. Somebody comes, you answer the door. Somebody calls, you answer the phone, or you have to interrupt the puja and go attend to something, including call of nature. So like this, so many obstacles are there. And so you in the end you say, kayena vacha manasa, whether it's an omission or commission in the mind, or verbally, like the swaras are mispronounced in the Vedic mantras, or certain, you just forget something, you blank out, and then you are not unable to remember the rest of the mantra, or something like that. Then you have to ask for forgiveness, that is verbally, and then mentally, and also action wise. You were supposed to do achamanam, sip the water 3 times, but you sipped only once, or you did not sip at all. So on all levels, that's why we have this nice mantra which in all ashrams are chanted, all temples also. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. This is a very interesting cop out. So it says, very interesting. So it says kayena, physically, whatever I have done wrong in the puja and even in my life. Vacha, verbally, orally, whatever I have done wrong. And then what else? Manasa. in the mind, whatever I have done, that is not correct, incorrect actions. And then indriyaihi va. So maybe it's not an omission or commission of the mind, but to the sense organs. And then you are doing dhyanam in puja, and the neighbor is cooking pakodas, and then the smell comes to your nostrils right in the middle of meditation. And so the indriyaihiva, and naturally the nose gets very excited, the olfactory nerves are stimulated, and then that in turn stimulates the mind, etc. So on the level of sensory wrongs, this is also I ask forgiveness. So kagena vacha manasa indriyaihi va means or at the level of the indriyas. Uh, uh, कायेन वाचा मनसैरिन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्धि atma here is not atma is incapable of doing wrong or right, because it just doesn't do, period. So therefore it is atma here means the mind. So on the level of the mind, on the level of the ahankara, and buddhi on the level of the intellect, or prakritehe swabhavat, or some kind of like bestial prakriti from the last life. And then you bring in the what is that, nice halwa you make, bring in the naivedya offering. It smells good. That means, as far as Bhagavan is concerned, you have tasted it. No, but I only smelled it. I didn't taste it. I just took in the aroma. I smelled it. Yeah, but then that's how Bhagavan eats. Have you seen Bhagavan actually eat and need water and a floss to floss the teeth afterwards? No. That's why in the puja dravyas, in the materials for the puja, there is no dental floss and toothbrush and toothpaste. No, because Bhagavan just inhales the food. And if you have inhaled, that means it's an omission, it's a commission. It's an act of omission and commission. So for that also, we ask forgiveness. Prakrite Swabhava means I didn't think about it. It was smelling nice, so I wanted more to smell it. It was already smelling on the stove. That I cannot help, because when it's on the stove, the aroma is wafting it, and I'm taking the aroma. Theek hai, acha hai, that's wonderful. But then I'm also smelling it. Especially, I'm taking in the scent. That is done deliberately. But is it really deliberate? No, it's out of habit, the author says. And that habitual orientations and the habitual ways in which in which there is some tatsara, means neglect of the of the puja vidhi, etc. For all that, we ask for a blanket pardon. Prakrite Swabha. Karomi yadyat. Whatever I do. And Karomi yadyat sakalam. All of them. Every single thing that I have encountered, that I have not encountered, that I have annotated just now, that I have listed, and then every single thing that I have listed, plus what I have not listed, which may be there, then yad yad karomi tat tat Narayana iti samarpayami. I give it back to you. What audacity! Only in this tradition it is possible. Really. What audacity! All my mistakes also are an offering to you. Why? I didn't really, I didn't decide on what body you're going to give me. I didn't decide on all the tendencies which I have, and I didn't decide on this particular package deal that I come in. And then so basically my faults are also within Ishvara's Jagat. They are also within the laws, and the aberrations of my mind are within the laws. The tendency to the free will is of course given by you. Who asked you to give me free will so that I could flout it? So it's all it's all back to you. And then neatly you take all the faults, you list them nicely, but then before you can drown in your regret and go glub glub glub, you offer it all back to Bhagavan. That's what it is. Instead of drowning in the bathtub of regret, what do? You pull the plug and say, "Ooh, Bhagavan, siphon it all off. It's all you. It's all yours. There's nothing. I am yours. The faults are yours. Therefore, and then all the faults and the doshas are caused by what? Free will, and that free will is also you. Everything is you alone. And if everything is you, what is there? There's no me at all. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice way to come out of, the misplaced regret and even well placed regret. Regret is an important teacher, and it must be taken seriously so that we can rid ourselves of those actions which cause hurt to others or which are just not correct, which are not dharmic, which are not appropriate for oneself. So they flout dharma at all three levels: samanya dharma, vishesha dharma, swadharma. And so that must be taken seriously, because regret is the first step before correction of our actions, our attitudes, etc. But once that teacher called regret has done its job, you have to just, take the hanky with which you have wiped your eyes to use it to say goodbye. Bye. That's it's okay. The regret has done its job. It has taught me how to be. It has taught me what to do. It has taught me how to be. And then, then what happens? Then I have to say goodbye to regret as the teacher, and then I have to. The teacher has left behind something. It's the teacher called regret has not left behind guilt. The teacher called regret has left behind some lessons here, and those lessons have to be incorporated. The teacher called regret has left behind wisdom of not making the same mistakes again, of ridding oneself of being conscientious about these things. And so, therefore, with this kind of an understanding, you bid the regret goodbye. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for allowing me to be. And then now I am on my way. So, this is the one of the last steps of the puja. But here, the regret is very interesting. The regret is not because I didn't offer the ghee lamp when I should have waved the ghee lamp. I didn't do that. Oh, I forgot to ring the bell. And oh, I forgot to offer incense. It's not that kind of a regret. The regret here is something much, much deeper. What is the regret? Samprapya api pada aravindam. Having gained the lotus feet of what? Aravinda Padavim. Padavim means the status. I am the one who is endowed with the status, the Bhakta says, of having gained the lotus feet of who? Vidyavatam. Enlightened souls. People who know. Jnanis means who? Gurus. I have been so fortunate to have this teacher in my life, to have multiple teachers perhaps, or I have been very fortunate to meet a lot of people who know this teaching and who have blessed me. See, blessing means what? The teacher will bless you, and then you have to study. The teacher blesses you to direct the free will into and make the free will, enslave the free will at the at the place of knowledge, at the altar of knowledge. It has to be tethered to knowledge, the free will. And the blessing allows for a little window for all those habitual orientations of going away, not sticking to this, or one is able to stick, but then all the regrets and fears, pains, and the unconscious mind is having a party inside. All this, there is a kind of a little bit of an opening. Like in the Bible, there is this whole story of Moses parting the water like this. So like that, there is an opening. The blessing of the gurus gives an opening. It does not allow you, it does not do the work for you, which a lot of people think. Oh, if the guru blesses me, it's enough, I'll get the knowledge. How will you get? Unless you put yourself in a teaching situation, how will that happen? It won't happen. The guru blesses you to put yourself in a teaching situation, but the action has to be done by you. You have to be there, you have to be present. Shravanam can happen only when the ears are open, the mind is receptive. And that receptivity is what you bring. That is your contribution to the potluck called Atma Jnanam. You have to bring that. Yeah, you have to bring that. You have to bring the dish of receptivity. You have to bring a patram. That's why the life of Bhiksha is very metaphoric, you see. So, what do you carry? You carry an empty bowl as a monk. I mean, it's so beautiful to see how they have made a ceremony of this in the Buddhist tradition. So you go to Thailand, you go to many other places where the Buddhist monks are there, and they walk. So they walk, they go to 5 houses or some places, and now, of course, it is designated because everybody is very busy and you can't just drop in. So people already know they are on the roster for the bhiksha today. And so they bring, so the monk, the head monk, followed by some other monks, they just walk to this house and they stand, they chant and everything, and all they have is empty pots, very nice clay pots, and then they are on one on top of another. So they beg food for the entire ashram, not just for themselves. For themselves, yes, but for the entire ashram. Maybe there are, 10 monks or maybe 50 monks or whatever it is. And then the householder fills the pot, and then they thank they thank them for filling the pot, and they move on until all the pots are filled, and then they go back and then they distribute and then they have a meal together. This is how it is. So that bhiksha patra, that patra means the receptacle, the bowl. So the begging bowl has to be empty. If you're already gone for some kind of a takeout, and then you already have in your bowl some rice and all kinds of things, and then you say, okay, just top it off. Nothing will happen. It will, whatever is given, the giver is ready to give, but the bowl is already full. So what does it do? It runs off. It runs off. It's useless. And so this is the bowl. That's why in the stories, in the Puranic stories, Lord Shiva has a skull for the bowl. Begging bowl is the skull. This is the bowl. Here is where it has to go in. It has to penetrate this thick this thick set of bones, the knowledge. And therefore that receptivity is so important. So just because you got a blessing from a teacher, oh, you got diksha, you got mantra, you got some kind of a permission to lead this lifestyle, that does not ensure the knowledge. That's just a little sliver of an opening. Perhaps you see that there is a possibility through the thicket, through the thick forest of ignorance and anyatha jnanam, of wrong interpretations, of wrong internalizations of who I am, there is a little opening. But if you sit and complain, oh, the knowledge didn't come, that means you're already full of yourself, full of all kinds of nonsensical notions, full of complaints. It's amazing how much people can complain without really understanding how the blessings are already there. And that they're already there. That's why we pray to Annapurna, the goddess of food. Yes, fill me up, so that fill me with jnanam and vairagya. Vairagya is the side dish which allows the jnanam to, vairagya is the palate cleanser, which allows the jnanam to be nicely enjoyed. Without vairagya, no jnanam can come. Bhikshan dehi cha Parvati. Jnana vairagya siddhyartham. So that I can have the siddhis of jnanam and vairagya. Those are the only two siddhis you need. Viveka, Vairagya, one siddhi, Jnanam, another siddhi. No other siddhis. Siddhis means what? Oh, I can read somebody's mind. Here is the person who is saying that I can read somebody's mind. All right, you know. And why do you want to read somebody's mind? Because I'm very bored of my own mind. That's why I have developed the ability to read somebody else's mind. And don't you think their thoughts will be even more boring than yours? Because at least your thoughts are your thoughts, you're accustomed to them. Other people's thoughts will be so boring. Oh, did I turn off the stove? They are thinking. What will happen to me tomorrow? They are thinking. Will your Lord Yama come today or tomorrow? They are thinking. How boring! So boring. Oh, this person doesn't like me, they are thinking. That person also I don't like, they are thinking. Well, what is the use of this reading somebody else's mind? What a huge, colossal waste of time to read somebody's mind. Not at all needed. Understand your own self. That is the idea. And so the begging bowl is always empty. You beg for this knowledge. It really doesn't come on its own. Just then the begging for food is a metaphor for begging for the fullness, which is the knowledge to be dropped into my bowl, which is nothing but an upturned skull, a skull that has an opening. This is what it is. That is the thing, See, so this is the metaphor here. That bhiksha is very, very, that bhiksha vritti, very important. And it is totally to remind ourselves that this is, some everything is being given. Just for the asking, it is being given. As soon as I ask, it's being given, it's being given, it's being given. And still I complain. I complain nobody is giving me, nobody is validating me, the teacher is not looking at me, and the teacher is not giving me the knowledge. As though the teacher has some kind of a, lock and key over the knowledge. No, it's your own receptivity, because it's the lack of one's own receptivity that makes one feel denied. This is what it is. And so here the author laments in the form of the bhakta. The author laments. And what is the lament? The lament is that samprapya api, having nicely gained the feet of all gurus, jnanis, I have gone with my begging bowl to everybody. But still, I'm not full, oh Lord. Why? Because my bowl was already filled with my own nonsensical notions about myself, about the Jagat, about the universe and the people therein, and about myself, the Jagat, and the Lord. All kinds of nonsensical notions. So, even though the gurus blessed me to study, I did not study. Even though the gurus blessed me with the knowledge, I could not fathom it or take it. And then, not recognizing my fault of not being able to take what they gave, I turned around very easily and blamed all of them. I said, oh, you are not giving me this, you are useless, you are not acknowledging me. And so this is the padaramindam, and then advaita vidyavatam, those who are vidyavantah, so those who are the wielders of the knowledge of non-duality, advaita vidyavatam, who are that? Muktanam. The second line should be, put up here. Muktanam should go with Advaita Vidyavatam. They are all those words are in apposition. So Muktanam, they are free from samsara, and they are jnanis, and they are gurus, and I had the greatest blessing of serving them. I had forget serving them. I had the greatest blessing of meeting them once. But instead of taking what they give, I am just complaining. I'm stewing in the sauces of my own complaints and regrets and fears and tears. And then Natu Vayam Linaha. Vayam is it's a prayer on behalf of all of us, on part of the author. All of us, Na Linaha Sada Brahmani. We are not absorbed in Brahman. Lina means Lina means leaning. Okay, so we are not leaning on Brahman. We are leaning for our validation on useless things, useless praises from useless people. We are codependent, leaning on everything else except that which should be lent on, because that's the only one that lends me this body, mind, sense complex, ahankara, this presence, etc. And instead of leaning on this, I'm leaning on everything else. So I'm not Brahmalina. Brahmalina means leaning on Brahman. Okay, yeah, new English definition. And then I am other Lina. I am validation Lena. I am food Lena. I am Jagat Lena. I am Jiva Lena. I'm leaning on my body to give me some kind of a sense of salvation. Why? So that it can continue forever. I'm leaning on everything except Brahman. This is so sad. And this is the biggest aparadha. Aparadha means a action of omission and commission. Omission to recognize my own nature, commission in the sense that even when this knowledge was offered as a key to recognize my nature, I was unable to take it. I chose not to take it. And then, mohataha. Why? Because of delusion. Why else? That's all. Because of Atma Ajnanam and delusion, I was unable to take it. Take what? Samarasa, oneness. Samarasa means oneness. So unable to take it. Tvadbhava Purnatmana. So I was unable to match my fullness to the fullness that is you. I was unable to recognize my fullness as that fullness which is you. I was unable to recognize that fullness as a siddhavastu vishaya, as a topic that was already established. Rather, I thought I have to manufacture the fullness. I did not know that the fullness is already there, and it is that oneness with you. The fullness that I recognize in myself is the fullness that is you. I was unable to see that. Why? Mohataha. So this tasil is often used, the taha, the tas pratyaya suffix is used in lieu of fifth case. Panchamyas tasil, there is a sutra. So then, so here, mohataha. Mohataha means out of delusion. Out of a sense of delusion, I was unable to recognize the truth of myself as the fullness which is me, which is you. He aparadha eva paramaha. This indeed, he is indeed, aparadha paramaha. This is the ultimate aparadha. This is the ultimate omission and commission. Kshantavya eva prabho. Oh Lord, you have to forgive this, because who else will? All the missed opportunities, the missed chances, the missed openings, and the missed signals. Signs come. Signs are everywhere. The signals are everywhere. And they are all green, meaning they're all saying go forward. But I am colorblind, so I see them to be red. I can't differentiate. This is the problem. I'm colorblind. Colorblind means cataracts of delusion. And I'm unable to see that there is a way forward because I'm stewing in my own juices. And stewing in the own juices means one time I get a high. I am the best, east or west. I know everything. I don't need to study. Why should I study? I know everything. I have been in Vedanta for so long. But do you know? Yeah, kind of. It's enough. There's a complacency that sets in. I know everything. I don't need to study. And then from that high, I fall to the low of nobody loves me and nobody cares for me. Nobody knows anything and nobody is willing to teach me. The teacher has left me. This is the high, this is the agony which follows the ecstasy. The ahankara is a yo-yo creature. Goes up and down, up and down, up and down like that yo-yo, that little children's toy. Old-fashioned, I might add, because children now don't really play with toys. And they've all gone digital. So this is the problem. The high and the low, you cannot tolerate. The ecstasy itself is agonizing because you know it's wrong. You know that this hubris is misplaced. You know that this hubris is a patina to hide yourself from committing to the teaching. This is what it is. You're hiding yourself from committing to the teaching by having this narrative that I already know, I'm there, I'm fine, I have studied Vedanta for X number of weeks, months, years, whatever you fill in the one can fill in the blank. And then one is no longer, when in that place of so-called ecstasy, one is no longer in the place of receptivity. One is full of oneself, full of delusions, full of all kinds of notions. And then very soon, and then one has, and since this is all puffed up, it's in the microwave of ahankara, you have put this jiva, and then it's all puffed up like a popcorn, popped corn. And then what? It encounters some water. What kind of water? Water in the form of some pain. Something happens in the jagat. Somebody disses you, disrespects you. Somebody says something. And since this puff up is just all an appearance without really there being the kernel of knowledge, there is no knowledge there. There is just an appearance all puffed up. You have told yourself this story, and then it has suddenly made you happy. And then you say, oh, I don't need to study. I just, I'm going to become a sannyasi and I'm fine and I'm all okay. And then you tell yourself this story, and there is nothing behind it. As soon as the big cat called life takes a swipe, the balloon of ahankara goes, or as soon as the popped corn of ahankara encounters a little bit of wetness, it becomes soggy and small and all just gooey, and it goes to the depths of despair. Why? Because it is not held by knowledge. When you're held by knowledge, Bhagavan Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Guruna api dukkhena na vichalayet. Even by the greatest of sorrows, one is unmoved. That is the hallmark of knowledge. Not telling yourself stories and surrounding yourself by books. I have this, I have that, and I'm a collector. What are you collecting? What is this that you're collecting? What is the use of collecting all these things if you don't read, if you don't study, if you don't expose yourself to the text, to the knowledge? I'm a collector of gurus, somebody said. Somebody came when I was in Eugene once, and we have never seen this fellow again, ever again. And he came, he had attended one talk. And then he came and he said, will you be my teacher? I said, what for? Because I could see that suddenly he saw somebody comes and says this. And then he says, because I have many teachers. I have a photo, I have them all. What? I said, what are you doing with these teachers? I have a photo of the hugging guru. I have the photo of the talking guru. I have the photo of the silent guru. I have the blessing. Somebody gave some coconut. I have that coconut in my shelf, and I have all these things. And I'd like to put your photo also there. I said, please spare me. I said, you have enough gurus. You have been doubly, triply, quadruply blessed. You have to just now follow up on the blessings. The jiva is a hoarder. No need to collect. And here, this is what the person is seeking forgiveness for. Even though I have been in this wonderful moment of opportunities, I have not taken the opportunities. I have been unable to recognize the greatness of the gurus, even though they know. I have not studied with them. I have refused to study. I have refused. I've turned my face away from Brahman, and I'm not really in this, in the truth of myself. Battling the demons of ahankara, battling the demons of wrong understanding. This is what it is. I'm not able to give them up. And then, so why? All because of moha. I have been denied this oneness with you for nothing other than my own flaw. And so, kshantavyah paramaha aparadhah eva prabho. O Lord, just free me of this aparadha. Free me. Means what? Take away all the demons, the inner demons that I am battling. Take them away. Take them away so that I am free to go on this path. I can free myself to go on this path. Very nice. And then the final step is, you just you take a handful of flower petals, whatever it is, and then before saying goodbye, you just strew those flowers on the altar, and that is the last step. Let us see how he transforms it. आत्मैवायमनन्तचिद्घनरसो नित्यं विमुक्तः स्वयं को बन्धः किमु बन्धनं कथमसौ बद्धा विमुक्तः कथम् सानन्दाश्रुसगद्गदं सपुलकं चिद्बोधपूजाविधौ देवस्यास्तु मदीयविस्मयमयः सम्पूर्णपुष्पाञ्जलिः. Very beautiful. Sampurna Pushpanjalihi. Astu. Astu, may there be. May there be what? Sampurna Pushpanjalihi. Anjalihi, palm. The palms of my hand, Sampurna, be filled with the flowers that I have to cast at the altar at the as the very last step of the puja. So, what are these flowers? So, the flowers are Atmaiva Ayam. I am the Atma alone. See, it's very much like English. Atmaiva I am. I am. So, Atma alone I am. Atmaiva I am. And then what is this Atma? This Atma is not the body, mind, sense complex or its conglomeration of the flesh and blood and bones and complaints. No, it is Ananta Chidghana Rasaha. Ananta. Ananta means endless, endless, limitless. Chidghana. Chidghana means just a mass of chit. Oh, chit comes in a mass? No, no, no. The mass here means en mass. Okay, yeah, that's what mass means. Mass means it is all chit alone. Even though, you see, this is a little, what should I say, Vedantic footnote. Even though there is a pratha, a custom to use the word chidghana, chidghana, prajnana ghana. They say ghana means dense. It's all dense knowledge. Actually, it's knowledge for the one that is dense. But here, dense means like nothing but a mass of knowledge like this. So, but but you see, if you say a mass of knowledge, then that means what? Then there is something else that's other than knowledge, correct? And so, to avoid that, the Mandukya Upanishad is extremely careful. Mandukya is very, very, very careful. Mandukya, it says, na apragnyah, na pragnyah. It is not ignorance, it is not knowledge. Na prajnana ghanaha. It says it is not a mass of knowledge either, because mass means then there is something else. So whenever you hear the word ghana, dense mass, impenetrable dense mass of knowledge, I mean to really put it, blandly, like a literal translation, you have to re-edit it in the light of the knowledge of the Mandukya. When we shine the light of Mandukya on this, then we have to edit the translation to say it's not a mass of knowledge, it is en mass knowledge, it is nothing other than knowledge. So Chidghana Rasaha, the essence of nothing but knowledge. of the self, of oneself. It's nothing other than knowledge. It's all knowledge, 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 knowledge. Nothing other than knowledge, which is you. Oh Lord, you are nothing but that consciousness, which is everything, which is me. And then, so this Chidghana Rasaha, um, this chit ghana is this essence of knowledge is what, and then what else are your characteristics? Nityam, unchanging, eternally the same, always. Vimuktaha, nityam vimuktaha, always free of complaints, the same complaints that I was having just a verse back, a verse ago. One verse ago I thought I was worse off, and now no longer. This chit ghana rasaha, this essence of knowledge, and now I know that you are always free, and since I am you, I am also always free. So for the one that is always free, swayam ko bandha, where is the bondage? What bondage? How do you spell bondage? I don't know how to spell bondage. No matter what my age, I don't know how to spell bondage. I don't know what is bondage. For the one who is always free, what is bondage? Moksha is already you. This is what we start with the premise. And a lot of people drop out because they say, oh, this is not exciting. There is nothing to do. I want something to do. So after the first class itself, people get weeded out by Bhagavan, I suppose, or by their own tendencies, however you want to take it, because there's nothing to do. That's why the modalities of spiritual modalities that tell you to catch the toes, catch this, catch that, go here, go there, go on a pilgrimage, go to Manasarovar, leave a lot of trash behind, and and then go here, go to Kedarnath, go to Badrinath. Kedarnath now, I heard that you can go by helicopter, and then you can hire a helicopter and do pradakshina and then go there. But before it was donkey. You sat on a donkey, poor donkey, and on that little precarious cliff, and the donkey was always left leaning because the side of the mountain was on the left. So you sit on a leftist donkey, and then you keep going and going and going all the way up to the top. Poor donkey. Or there are people to carry the person on a chair. The chair which has long legs, and they carry those legs on the shoulders. It's just terrible. And so such things are popular. Tell the person to go on a pilgrimage, I'm there. Tell the person to go do something, I'm there. Tell the person to, go get something, yes, I'm there. Tell the person to just be receptive and listen to the glory of the self. Ah, oh, that means I'm already free. Then why do I need this? Why do I need you? Okay, bye. This is what the tendency is. And so here, so this is the author is asking the question, ko bandha, where is the bondage? What is this thing called bondage? Not from a flippancy of a person who is steeped in samsara and who happens to be fortunate enough to command some means and and then enjoy the life. No, that person, a rich person also who has everything at the fingertips, can just snap the fingers and get whatever they want. They will also say, what bondage? I don't see any bondage. And so it's not from that sense. But here, really, where are the complaints? Where is the bondage? When you know that there is nothing other than you, and when you know that this Lord that you're worshipping is you alone. Kimu bandhanam swayam ko bandhaha. Where is the bondage? Kimu bandhanam kathamasau. So kimu bandhanam means what is the so where is the bondage? How can I be bound? First question. Second question is, what is this chain called bondage? What is the chain which is tying me up? Oh, very seriously, you want to know the chain? I'll tell you the links of this chain. The first link of the chain is Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance. The second link of the chain is all kinds of useless, needless desires. The third link of the chain is because of the desires, they exert pressure. The fourth link of the chain is because of the pressure, there is action. The fifth link of the chain is then you have to eat the results of action. The sixth link of the chain is then you have the repeated life to keep on working for the to keep on working for the desires that are yet unfulfilled. So you have rebirth. This is the shackles called samsara. These are the shackles that are bound with. Well, you know, it's like when the great grandmother is not there. what what will I do with the great granddaughter? Great grandmother itself is not there. So who are you talking to? I'm talking to the great granddaughter of who? A non-existent great grandmother. Who is the great grandmother here? The great grandmother is Atma Ajnanam, Atma Avidya. The avidya has washed away. So if that first link itself is not there, what about the link of the link of the link of the link of the link? They are all gone. If the primary link is gone, all the other links that depend on that link are all shattered. Kimu bandhanam. What is this bondage consist of? What is this bondage consist of? When their atma ajnanam is gone, thanks to this knowledge, there is no other samsara there. Sorrow is not there, fear is not there, because they are all ajnana linaha. They are all leaning on ajnanam. Sorrow, fear, division, duality, and what else? Anger and jealousy, regret, pain, everything is dependent upon this Atma Jnanam. When that main player is gone, all the other people, all the other things are also gone. It's just like you have a disease, and then somebody has a disease, and there are many, many symptoms. And one of them is perhaps a rash. Rash is one of the symptoms. And the other symptom is some kind of a headache, second symptom. The third symptom is some kind of a lack of loss of appetite in this disease. Third symptom. And the fourth symptom is some kind of a nausea, not feeling like feeling a little sick to the stomach. Fourth symptom. Sounds like the stomach flu, yeah, so far. Fifth symptom, fever. But then you get a medicine. Let's say there is a medicine that is not treating the symptoms, but it is treating the entire disease itself. Then when the disease is gone, then what about the symptoms? Will they linger? No, because the symptoms are dependent upon the disease. They are the manifestation of disease. So samsara Atma Ajnanam is the disease. Samsara is the symptom. It's kind of nice to think of samsara as a mere symptom. Yeah, very, very powerful. So samsara is a symptom, it's not the disease. We think samsara is the disease. No, Atma Ajnanam is the disease, of which samsara is a boil. That's all. And then when the Atma Ajnanam is taken care of, samsara disappears. Kimu bandhanam? Who is bound? What is the bondage here? No bondage at all. Then what does he say? Katham asau baddhaha vimuktaha. So katham, kimu bandhanam, katham asau baddhaha. So who is the one who is bound? These are all rhetorical questions, okay? This is not homework for next time. Let's see who is bound. Me. How am I bound? No. These are all rhetorical questions. Meaning, it is showing the impossibility of bondage. When there is no bondage possible, there is no chain, there is no rope. How can one hang oneself when there is no rope? How can one say, I am a samsari? There is no rope because it is all aropa. It's a superimposition. The rope has become aropa because of the cognition which is there in my heart. There is no rope. So how can I be bound? when there is no source of bondage. And so the disease called ajnanam has taken away the side effect and the symptoms called samsara. And then also the last question he asks is vimuktaha katham. How come I am free? This is another joke. We are saying you are never bound, and you are asking, how come I am free? How did I become free? I was just now bound, I couldn't move, and then now suddenly I'm free. It's just like that Amazing Grace lyrics. I once was lost, but now I am found. And then we say you were never lost and never found. You're always found. So you were never lost. You're always there. You as the self effulgent I is always there. You were never lost. You were never bound. If you are never lost, how can you be found? If you are never bound, how can you be free? So, what bondage, what freedom, very artistic and a fitting conclusion to this whole very long puja vidhi, each one very elaborate. The Advaita Puja Vidhi, the non-dual puja, what it translates into. Very, very beautiful. So where is the bondage? Who is bound? Who is who is the one that is bound? And then if there is no one that's bound, then the last question is illegal. What is the last question? How did I become free? It is totally illegal. So then, what are these flowers? The flowers are in the form of this understanding. And then so this is the Chit, Chit, Chitbodha Puja Vidhau. So in this Puja Vidhi, in this step-by-step puja of what? Chitbodha, of self-knowledge. In this puja of self knowledge, I am grateful. I find myself, Devasya astu madiya vismayamayaha. I find myself completely vismayamayaha. Very nice pun here. Vismaya means, full of being moved by wonder. When one is in a wondrous situation, an awesome situation, filled with awe is Vismaya. Vismaya Mayaha, filled with awe, doubly filled with awe. And in this awesome place where I find myself, I have tears of gratitude. Sanandashru sagadgatam sapulakam. I have horripilations in my body because of the force of this knowledge and the understanding that I am no longer bound. And what is this freedom? What is this bondage? When I understand this, I am excited beyond. My body is showing signs of excitement. My hair is raising to the end, and my eyes are filled with unshed tears, and I am moved beyond my senses. I'm moved, and then so the hands are full of flowers made of this knowledge, made of the awe for Bhagavan, and then together with the tears of happiness, unshed tears of happiness, I offer the flowers of self knowledge unto you. Very, very nice. Beautiful. So that concludes this particular section, which we have not section, subsection, which we have spent a long time. Now, the section 18 is very interesting because it is Deva Puja Upayukta Shastra Nirnaya. So here again, it's a continuation of this puja, but here it is more of a questioning. A lot of question answers are there, and it's a different kind of a different take on the whole puja vidhi itself. Okay. So we'll stop here. No point in starting this. I will start next time. And then when is next time? 16th, I think. No, not 16th, 15th. 15th of October. All right. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।